Hello, Professor Toybox here along with Agent P, and today I'm going to implement the fifth and final mission for Agent P in my Danville toy box. This mission is an homage to the Season 2 episode Candace Gets Busted, in which Dr. Doofenshmirtz invents a Go-Away-inator to remove the buildings that are blocking his view of the local drive-in movie. I've changed the mission a little bit though. In my toy box, he's placed several devices on the rooftops, and Agent P must destroy them to save the city, and then capture Dr. Doofenshmirtz. And this kind of gives the player a reason to come up here and visit the rooftops, because it's not necessarily a very large toy box, and so it's kind of nice to have somewhere else to go, and we have the rooftops here. Now, I've already placed the Creativitoys that I'm going to need in order to save time. So I'll come into Spark mode and show you what I've got. We have a button, which again we're using temporarily to start the mission. A logic gate. 2 enemy wave generators. A collectible tracker. A replayer. A radar marker. A friend generator. And a target camera. And I've connected up this enemy wave generator to 5 locators set up over here, and I'll give you an aerial view of where those are. It's not really important where those are as long as they're up there somewhere. And then the other enemy wave generator I've connected up to 5 locators over here. 2 on this roof and 3 up here on this roof, including one that I kind of stuck back behind here to kind of hide from the player a little bit. And we also have a locator over here in Dr. Doofenshmirtz's building. And if you weren't aware, there's a button at the base of the building that opens up the top. And I've got a locator sitting in there. So that's what we have to start with. So let's go ahead and set up each of these toys first. And on this enemy wave generator, for that end of those roofs, if we come down to configure the wave, you'll see I've already added 5 of these to save a little time so that I'm not scrolling through the list and you're watching me do that. And under the properties, everything in here stays the same, but I take the generation delay to 0. This enemy wave generator is identical, but it's connected up to those locators. But the wave is the same. 5 of those robots. And the properties will be the same. Again, the only thing we change under here is to take the generation delay to 0. For the collectible tracker, under the properties, for the collectible, I'm going to use the gold armored orb for the Go-Away-inator devices. And so that's the one we're looking for. And we'll go ahead and show them on the radar. The replayer, we'll use this to put down those devices. I'll take the playback interval to 0. And for the radar marker, this will be for Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'm going to use the yellow arrow. The beacon location needs to be the connected actor. And the rest of those properties are fine. And we're going to connect this radar marker to the friend generator by the new actor connection there. And then for the friend generator, we're going to do a new locator connection because Dr. Doofenshmirtz is going to show up over here inside his building. There we go. Took a moment to select that. And for the properties on the friend generator, I'm going to set the behavior to angry. Alright, and then we need a target camera to show the player what the mission is all about. And on the properties for this, well, first of all, let's go ahead and do the new locator connection. And I'm going to connect it up to this locator over here. I've got the camera lined up kind of with that locator down here. but I want it showing at an angle because I want it to be looking at the orb, which will be sitting back over here. And so this locator here makes a little bit more sense to point the camera that way. But it's lined up with that locator down there, and this direction it's lined up with the edge of the street and the top of the building here. And on the properties for this, we're going to use a defined duration of 6 seconds. These are fine. Glow through off. The camera target will be the connected locator. And the rest of these are all fine. Okay, with that, everything is set up and ready to go. So, again, we'll use the button to temporarily launch this, and we'll do a new logic connection when pressed, and we're going to connect it up to the logic gate and do an input. And I'll use the logic gate to start everything else. And that's again so that next time when we do the random selection for the missions, it will only require one logic connection to this gate, and this gate will drive the mission. So on this logic gate, we'll do a new logic connection on output. We're going to come to each of these enemy wave generators and generate the wave. And also on the logic gate, new logic connection on output. We will reset the collectible tracker so that we can play this mission multiple times. New logic connection on the logic gate on output. We're going to come to the replayer, which I'll set up in a moment, and do playback. And that will put the orbs out there. And then the last thing the logic gate needs to do is a new logic connection on output. Come over to our target camera and activate it so that the player will see the enemies on the rooftop and the orb, and they'll know what they need to do and where they need to go. Alright, so that is all that that logic gate needs to do. Before I forget, let's go ahead and use the replayer to place the collectibles. So I'll step on the replayer, which opens the menu in the lower right. On my Wii U, I press B to start recording, and then I have to step off to get back into the editor. And we'll go ahead and place these orbs, and I'm going to put 4 of them out into the world. We're going to put one back over here in this corner. And let me just make sure I've got this in the right spot. Yeah, so that works. The next one will go up here on the roof behind the little bird building here. So like that. I'm kind of hiding these out of the way so that the player will have to look around for them a little bit. But they are on the radar, so that will help them find them. Place this one here in between the building and the water tank. And the last one I'm going to place over here next to the helipad. Because if you watch the playthrough video, they need that helipad to get up on top of Doofenshmirtz's building. And I'll hide it back here behind it where it's kind of out of sight. And then I'll exit out of the editor. Excuse me. And we'll step on the replayer, and I'll press B again on my Wii U to stop recording, and A to clear. And again, you only want to press A once. You don't want to corrupt your replayer. Alright, so with that, pushing the button goes through the logic gate, and that starts the mission. Now, the rest of the mission is governed, excuse me, my goodness, is governed by the collectible tracker. So once they collect all 4 of the orbs, or rather, they break them, the collectible tracker will turn on the radar marker for Dr. Doofenshmirtz and put him up in his building and set up for the last part of the mission, which is capturing Dr. Doofenshmirtz and taking him to the police. So on the collectible tracker, new logic connection. When the final collectible is collected, we want to come over to our friend generator, and we're going down to the toy box category, and we got to scroll down a little ways to get to Dr. Doofenshmirtz. There he is. And that will put him into the world. And then on the collectible tracker, new logic connection when the final collectible is collected. Come over to his radar marker and turn that on. And yeah, that should be the only two things that needs to do. Alright. So then the player goes over and gets Dr. Doofenshmirtz and drops him into the collection bin down here. And so everything else then for the end of the mission is driven off the friend generator. So on the friend generator, we'll do a new logic connection. When the generated toy is defeated, first thing I want to do is come over to our replayer and clear it. And this will set it up so that we can replay the mission. And a new logic connection when the generated toy is defeated. We can turn off that radar marker. And then new logic connection when the generated toy is defeated. We're going to go over to our sound generator and play our end of mission musical flourish. So under the musical category, fanfare. And on the friend generator, new logic connection when the generated toy is defeated. Last thing we'll do is come over to the action enforcer and have the players celebrate. And there we go. That should be everything. So we'll come back over here, and I'm just double checking all of my notes. Got all the properties set up. I've got all the logic connections in. Yep, looks like we're ready to go. Let's give it a try. So again, we'll use the button temporarily to start the mission. There's the orb. There's the enemies. And now we got some enemies to defeat. Whoa! Whoa! Nice. Oh, you snuck up behind me. Okay, make sure I get my sparks. Oh, and we lost our decoration there. I'll have to put that back into the environment. Go ahead and destroy the orb. So there's one down. My goodness. Got a lot of stuff in my throat today. Sorry about that. Okay, took care of him. And up we go. I love his little hat. It's so cool. It's such a unique thing. Alright, so there's all the enemies. And then we'll break the orb. And there's another one over here. Let's go ahead and turn around. Bonk. Alright, and one more. I've already been to the lair, as you can see, and picked up the glider pack. Alright, so this is the last thing on our radar marker, or on our radar. Oops, not that one. That one. Okay, and now we have a new radar marker over by Dr. Doofenshmirtz's building, which we can probably see a little better from up here. You can kind of just make it out. So to get over there, you need to double jump or super jump. There we go. Then we pick him up and we take him to the cops. You've just been causing so much trouble, dude. I wish you would stay in jail. And there we go. I guess if he stayed in jail, though, then we wouldn't have a whole lot of exciting things to do, would we? So that's my final mission for Agent P. Next time, I'll show you how to set it up so that it will select a mission randomly each time you visit Agent P's lair, and then I'll put the finishing touches on this toy box. It'll be our last episode. Until then, I want to thank you for watching my video today and remind you that if you want to build this mission in your own toy box, I've got logic diagrams on my blog to help you out. There are also plenty of other toy boxes that I've built, so be sure to check out the playlists on my channel or the different categories on my blog for ideas for new toy boxes that you can build. And as always, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking my photo in the lower right corner. That's all for me today. I'll see you next time.